Welcome back to the lab. Depending on the thumbnail, you'll see where we're at. After hundreds of hours, literally hundreds of hours of work, we're finally at the end of the project. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? All finished. Except it's really not. It's really not finished. By a long way. But, hey, why don't we open this? Let's open this here. Oh, it's already unlocked. Come out here. Come out here, Lois. This needs to go back. We need a new one of those, and that needs to go in the hole. Look. There. It looks better, doesn't it? Actually, that looks... On camera, that looks a lot different. What does it look? It's dark. It's the contrast is higher. It's darker looking with brighter blue. In person, it actually looks maybe not quite as cool as what you might be seeing on the camera, but it's cool enough. It's definitely good. It's definitely many times better than what it would have been from the factory, and what it was when I painted it. Not so far from where it is right now, probably just back a little bit, to be honest. 18 years ago, when this was actually a carport. See the big wooden posts there? Well, you can see one there, and there's more. That wall was never there, and this was, I don't know where they are, they're kicking around somewhere. This was a row of gates here. It was a carport, and that's it was painted for our wedding like 18 years ago, and round about this time of the year, actually, a little bit earlier on. So this time round, slightly better conditions, although being realistic, I want to drive this. It does get parked outside, so, and this is not a paint booth, and I didn't go nuts with preparation. The workshop as it sits right now, take a look around, you know, there's dust and swarf and more swarf and dust and crap everywhere. That's exactly how it was when that was painted yesterday. I've done nothing except take the masking off that, and there's an air gun there. Gave it a little bit of a blast with the air gun just to get the dust off that came off the masking. So it's not a super perfect paint job. I'm sure I'll find some crap in here if I keep looking. Oh, you've probably seen it if you're a good eye. Actually, it looks good on camera, doesn't it? That's straight off the gun. There's no polishing. There's no serious runs anywhere. This time I was quite careful with it. I've kind of pushed my luck a lot just here somewhere. Oh, it's really hard to find it on the camera. You can just see a little wrinkle just in the middle of the screen as I pass through there. Just about got a run going there, and there's one here somewhere. It's just, I'm not going to touch it. It's just in this general area. Pushed my luck. A little bit wet on that panel. Pretty much a run, but a very minor one. Quite a chunky one here. Unfortunately, that's right where everyone's going to see it. But there is a windscreen rubber that comes down about this far. There's 3 layers on there, so I can buff that out and that'll be totally fine. There's another one down here, much easier to see. Again, there's a lot of paint on there because that's going to get hammered with stones and stuff. That bumper was in terrible, do you call that a bumper? Chin spoiler, was in terrible condition before I started this prep for this particular paint job. Other than that, yeah, that was it. One there, the worst one there, a little bit on the other side. No other runs that I have seen. Might spot some later on. Oh no, wifey spotted one. I'll show you where that is. And unfortunately, we got a bug tried to jump in on top of the second coat. Oh, where is it? Very hard to see it. It's there and it's right on the top, but you know, it's going to get stone chips if I use it, so I'm not going to cry over it. It is what it is. Big deal. There it is. There's a little bit of a run there. I put a lot of clear coat in this area here because people kick their feet against this sort of stuff getting in and out of the van. So yeah, so from there forward is done. A little bit of a buff later on in a couple of spots like I showed you, but that is basically where we're at. I just walked into this. I need to put this away, but every time I put it away I need it 5 minutes later. But where it sits right now is actually pretty good to show you kind of the stages of prep to get it where it is now. I'm not saying this is a show car and this is how you do it, blah, blah, blah. But I've been doing it this way because it's such a big thing. I don't want to prep the entire thing and paint the entire thing all in one hit. It's a massive, massive job. It's what I did last time. It sucks. One person with one gun, it's hours of spraying, you know, hands stuffed at the end of it. So I've been working at the front, and then the next panel along, well, actually, there's been some happening on the doors, but the next panel along has been sort of prepped to the next stage, or close to the next stage. This is in the way for our little tour here, and this is a stage further back, and then this is a stage further back, and then this is the next stage further back, so almost at the starting point. And the very back here is just the raw steel with the epoxy primer. So that's kind of how it works out, right? So you have that. I mean, that's not perfect prep. I'll hammer and dolly this and get it a little bit closer, and then you start chucking some filler on. These bits here are just kind of leftover dregs from what's been happening further around that way. I've just been, when I get to the point where I'm satisfied with what I'm doing here, if there's any filler left, I know it's going to need some here, so I've just chucked it on there. That may not be the way to do things professionally, but that's what I've been doing. So that all gets filled, and then it all gets sanded. You can see there's minimal filler going on here. There's actually little bits here and there where the metal's showing through a little bit. So it's far, and this is nearly, well, I'd say, yeah, that is. I'd say you can just spray putty that and paint. It's compared to what it had before, and I kid you not, some of these areas were 10 mils plus thick with bog. It was just stupid. So that's not happening again. So yeah, you can see it will get sanded. This is no filler at all on this door, except for a little bit just here, just next to the door handle. It will need a tiny little bit here, a tiny little bit there. That's nearly spray putty, nearly get away with spray putty. And that panel line's in the wrong spot. I've got to fill it down 5 mils, my bad. I was copying a door that was wrong. And it was off the van when I was copying it. And then that one is literally, we're at the point where we're spot putty in a few little places, a sand that should need primer, and then that can have blue on it. So that will be basically the next thing I'm doing, is either the front doors or this piece. And I'm going to do, starting around the corner there, I'm not walking around to show you, but across this panel, the door can be opened. This is all just about ready to paint that, so I'll go to there, all inside there, inside the door, and across the top there, and stop here somewhere where I can blend it in with the rest of the paint, and the outside of this door. So by the time I hang the front doors, will be finished from there all the way around to here. I'll do the boot / tailgate as a separate piece. That is pretty good, shouldn't need any bog at all, really. Actually, take that off, strip off the shitty old VHT off there, epoxy it, heaps of spray putty, sand it flat, boom, put the blue on it. This is a big job, because I've got it's one piece. There's no panel lines, they're all deleted, including the ones on the other side where that panel there joins in. That would normally be a door, so there would normally be a panel line there and there on the other side as well. It's sometimes a door rather than normally. I have to paint from there all the way around to there in one hit. You can't do that piece by piece. So at that stage, and there's a big roll of plastic, 5 metre wide plastic, there it is. How long is it? It's 100 metres, I think that's enough. At that stage, I'm covering up everything in here, and we're making a paint booth, because if I get any crap in this massive big thing, that's a nuisance. Whereas on the front, if it was a little bit of shit in there or whatever, it's not such a big deal to stop, let it all dry, sand it out, fix it, carry on. But I don't want to be doing that on this big piece. So that's where we're at. Guy Steve from Aussie Spears, from the Lemons Racing Series, Mega Motorsport. They race a Holden. That's a Bitzer car. There's a bit of HQ, there's a bit of Tirana, there's a bit of Commodore, there's a bit more of a different Commodore. I asked him whether he might have a VN Commodore Ute door filler assembly. Look at that, look what we've got. So that's going to get chopped out of there, and it's going to go over there. How do I get there? Hold. There we go, it's a bit of an expedition to get around to this side. It's actually almost the right size hole there already. Maybe, but these are a terrible idea because there's a seal that's on here, so the water runs down, goes in there. If the seal leaks, all the water goes into your fuel tank, and the key gets full of water and rusts up, and you go to open the cap and you can't. It's jammed. This side is much the same as the tailgate, maybe. This is actually all just bare metal under here. There's no filler at this top section at all anywhere. I'm lying. There's some where the panels join, but other than that, that's bare metal with VHT just to stop it rusting while it's sitting outside. So that all needs removing with a flappy disc down to here. I think I'm going to leave what's on here all the way through there. I'm going to leave it alone. It hasn't shown any signs of any trouble. In 18 years, it's been totally fine. It is filler under epoxy. It'll get a sand. That's it. Primer, carry on, paint. Except for this area where we're doing the fuel door conversion. I want to put a fuel door on there with a filler cap inside where it's nice and safe. I hope it'll look nice. I might have to push it outside and kind of mock it up and just make sure that's what I want to do and that it doesn't look out of place and awful. Yeah, a little bit to do here where I put this window blank in. It distorted a little bit, some panel beading. I don't want to put, that's probably a 10mm dip in there. I don't want to put that much filler in there. So I've got to, whatever, shrink it somehow and make it nice. Steering column is in, one pedal's in. It's probably going drive-by-wire. I need to do like a Nissan Micra or Navara drive-by-wire pedal conversion, and that throttle body arrangement's not staying there. We'll go drive-by-wire throttle body, and yeah, so that's where we're at. It's starting to look pretty, but there's still a long way to go. Priority at this point in time is to get the inside of all the doors done so the seals can go on there, so it can be watertight if it needs to go outside for some sort of emergency. We're prepping a carport over the other side of the property there, where this will fit in it without the roof on it. So that's one option. Right, I better crack on. The entire underside's painted, but it's just black. It's very boring. I'm not going to lift it up and show that, but it was all nice. It's probably all covered in dust now from all the painting and sanding of primers and things like that. But there you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Share it around to all your Bedford mates. Beddy mates, that sounds sketch, doesn't it? And there's a few other videos. I mean, this thing was sitting outside for a very long time. I started videos, 6 years ago. I said I was going to do this up, but I'm getting there. Thanks for watching. Cheers, boy.